Welcome to Untold Lores, the final confrontation, part 4 of 4. Li Wei's grandmother stood radiating divine authority, her form more solid and real than anything else in the supernatural pavilion. In her weathered hands, she held an ancient Buddhist prayer wheel that spun of its own accord, casting golden rays of purifying light that made the ghostly entities writhe and hiss. But Mei Ling's response sent shockwaves through the very foundations of the pavilion. The wooden beams groaned, the red candles flickered violently, and several ghostly guests began to fade at the edges. "You have no power here, old woman," Mei Ling shrieked, her beautiful facade cracking to reveal something far more terrible underneath. "This is the realm of the dead, and he belongs to me by right of promise." Li Wei's grandmother stepped forward, each footstep causing ripples of golden light to spread across the pavilion floor. "A promise made by a child carries no weight in the eyes of heaven," she declared, her voice carrying the sound of temple bells and morning prayers. "And you, child of water and sorrow, have forgotten the most important truth about death. It is not the end, but a transition. Your refusal to accept this has made you something unnatural." The prayer wheel in her hands began to spin faster, and Li Wei could feel warmth returning to his body as Mei Ling was forced to release her deadly grip. But the ghost bride was far from defeated. With a sound like a dam bursting, water began to pour from every surface of the pavilion, the walls, the ceiling, even rising from the floor itself. The ghostly guests screamed as they were caught in the supernatural flood, their forms dissolving back into the mist from which they had come. "If I cannot have him in marriage," Mei Ling cried, her voice now the roar of a raging river, "then I will take him to the depths where no light can follow." Li Wei found himself standing waist-deep in phantom water that felt as real and cold as the pond where Mei Ling had died. The water rose rapidly, reaching his chest, then his neck, and he could feel it trying to fill his lungs just as it had filled hers 15 years ago. But his grandmother raised the prayer wheel high above her head, and its golden light blazed like a miniature sun. "By the compassion of the Buddha, by the wisdom of the ancients, by the love that transcends death itself, I command you, release this soul and find your peace." The words struck Mei Ling like physical blows, and her perfect ghostly form began to crack and splinter like broken porcelain. But instead of anger, Li Wei saw something unexpected in her jade eyes. Tears. Real tears that mixed with the supernatural water around them. "I was so lonely," she whispered, her voice now small and lost, the voice of the 7-year-old girl she had been when she died. "So cold in the dark water. I just wanted someone to remember me, to keep the promises we made when everything was simple and safe." Li Wei felt his heart break for his childhood friend, even as the phantom water continued to rise around them. "I never forgot you, Mei Ling," he said softly. "I visited your grave every year on your birthday. I didn't know you were listening." His grandmother approached through the rising water, her golden light creating a pathway of safety. "Child of sorrow," she said gently to Mei Ling, "love that seeks to possess and control is not love at all. It is fear wearing love's face. True love desires the happiness of the beloved, even if that means letting them go." The ghost bride looked between Li Wei and his grandmother, her form continuing to crack and fade. "But if I let him go, I will be alone again, forever alone in the dark." "No," Li Wei's grandmother replied, reaching out her free hand toward Mei Ling. "If you choose to accept it, there is a place of light waiting for you. There are others who died young and afraid, who have found peace and joy beyond the veil. Your parents, who mourned you every day until their own deaths, are waiting to hold you again." For a long moment, Mei Ling stared at the offered hand. The supernatural water began to recede slowly, and the cracks in her ghostly form sealed themselves as she made her choice. Will it hurt?" she asked, sounding more like a frightened child than a vengeful spirit. "No more than it already has," Li Wei's grandmother promised. "And on the other side, there is only warmth and love and the laughter of children playing by streams of starlight." Mei Ling turned to Li Wei one last time. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I was so scared of being forgotten that I forgot what it meant to love someone." She reached out and touched his face gently, and this time her touch brought warmth instead of cold. "Be happy, Li Wei. Live the life I never could. And maybe sometimes when you see children playing by water, you can remember me as I was, not as I became." She took his grandmother's outstretched hand, and the moment their fingers touched, both figures began to glow with soft golden light. The pavilion around them started to fade, the supernatural elements dissolving like a dream upon waking. "Grandmother," Li Wei called out as her form grew translucent. "Why? How were you able to come back?" She smiled at him with infinite love and sadness. "Because some promises transcend death, my dear boy. I promised your mother I would watch over you always. Unlike some vows, that one I intend to keep." As the golden light grew brighter, Li Wei saw Mei Ling's form changing, becoming younger, more innocent, until she looked exactly as she had at 7 years old. She smiled at him, a pure, joyful smile unmarked by death or sorrow, and then both she and his grandmother stepped through what looked like a doorway made of starlight. The pavilion, the ghostly guests, the supernatural ceremony, all of it vanished like smoke, leaving Li Wei standing alone in the ruins of the real Moonlight Pavilion, dawn breaking over the mountains and painting the sky in shades of hope. As Li Wei walked home through the morning light, he found the red invitation in his pocket one last time. But now it bore a different message, written in a child's innocent handwriting. Thank you for helping me find my way home. That's it for part 4. Follow Untold Lores for part 1 of our next story. Like and subscribe for daily stories.